Hello everyone, welcome back to PN and L channel where we create content with practical IT solutions. If our videos are helpful to you, kindly subscribe to this channel, click the thumbs up button and let us know what you would like to see in the comment section. In this video, we're going to be configuring Cinder to integrate with the Ceph backend because the compute node is where the instances are going to be residing, or virtual machines are going to be residing, and we're it's going to be it's also going to be where the um, instances are going to be connecting to the Ceph backend storage. But before we go into that, we're going to configure uh, the files or the config files for live migration or hot migration. That's migrating um, an instance from one compute node to another. So in order to do that, first we're going to configure the libvirt.libvirt.conf. So what we're going to do is first, and so we're going to configure this first. Okay, 21. Next, we're going to configure the TCP. We're going to make that 1, and it's going to be on 36. Next, we're going to configure TCP port. And then we're going to configure the IP address. That's the 67. We change this to 124 because the IP address is different. And then we auth TCP. We're not going to be using SASL 189. Okay, now that is done. So next we're going to add the save that, and then the libvirt args, we're going to comment out the existing one just in case. Save that. Okay, let's put it here instead. down here and add that. There. So next what we're going to do is we're going to modify the user Nova, and then we're going to set a password for Nova. That's what it's going to use to communicate. Okay. Password updated successfully. So what we're going to do is generate a key for Nova. So we're going to run the SSH keygen on the first controller, on the first compute node. That is done. So we copy the SSH ID to Nova at localhost. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this to the second compute node. Okay, that is done. So next what we're going to do is we're going to restart all the services on. So what we will do is exit out of this, restart, and create the same link. Okay, everything seems to be good and dandy. So now we proceed to install Ceph common and Cinder on the compute node. So we're going to install Ceph common and Cinder volume on both compute nodes. All right, both compute nodes are ready to be configured. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy the ceph.conf file from the Ceph node to the compute nodes. So we're going to copy that. Yes. Okay, we're going to copy the same to the second compute nodes. So second compute node. Okay, that has been completed. So compute node 0. So next we're now going to move the files to the ceph.conf the Ceph directory. Okay, so here we're supposed to add the path to it. That's why it is having that complaint. Okay. Oh, my bad again. I did not add the path correctly. Okay. Next, we're now going to copy the Cinder keyring from the Ceph node. Okay. Next, we're going to do the same for the second compute node. All right. So we're going to move the keyring to oh, sorry, my bad. I was on the wrong server. Okay, that is correct. Phew, I thought I was. So next we're going to copy the glance keyring to both compute nodes. All right. We're going to move the files again from the home directory to the ceph.conf directory, and then not to forget to change the ownership to Cinder. So next we're going to configure the nova.conf file and add the region name under Cinder directory. Sorry, under the Cinder section. Okay. Save that. Under the Cinder directory, OS region name. Okay, finally, we're going to configure the cinder.conf file and then do some testing. Okay, so as we did on the controller nodes in previous video, we're going to comment out the iSCSI helper because we're not using the iSCSI, we're using the Ceph backend. Auth strategy lock path. Lock path is meant to be under Oslo concurrency, verbose lock path, and enable LVM backends. Save. So next we're going to add the my IP glance server to this and my IP as well. So add that here. So here we're going to ensure that this is 124. We save. So the next thing is we're going to go to the controller node. is this section we are going to copy here, which is the Cinder internal, this one here, because we've already run that command on there. So we go to the compute node and add that section to Cinder. After glance API servers, we add that, and then we add the verify glance signature. Disabled. So next we're going to comment out this section here. We're not using the SQLite, but we're using the backend database. So we comment out this section here and we add that. Next we're going to add the keystone auth key, the Oslo concurrent path, and the Ceph configuration. Okay, so now the UUID that we generated earlier on, we're now going to make use of it again, and we're going to add it to this here. Save. Okay. So next we're going to add some information to the ceph.conf file. Global section. Let us confirm that the global section here is the same. Okay, all the same, all correct. So next we're going to add this information to the ceph.conf file on the compute nodes. Okay, we can save the file now. Save the file and exit rather. So what we're going to do is we're going to make directory where all this for the logs and change ownership. On the compute nodes, that is done. So we're going to configure novak.conf file and add the images or the access to images on the compute nodes. So that's going to go under libvirt. Okay, so we can exit out of this, save and exit, save and exit. Next we're going to restart the Cinder volume service and the compute service because we just made changes to those files. Okay, good. So now we're going to make use of this UUID again. So on the first compute node, we're going to add some parameters in here. We're going to create a secrets.xml file, and we're going to create a secret for so here we've created it. So ls, you see here, secrets.xml. So now what we're going to do is we're going to copy the secrets file to the second compute node. Okay. Next, we're going to run this command on both compute nodes. Oh, my bad. I think we did not copy that file. Ultracom secret to this. So what we're going to do next is we're now going to run this. Beautiful. Created. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get the information from this keyring file. We're going to get this information here. So this key here is what we're going to use to run this command. So we're going to do this. So the secret, which is this one here, we're going to replace this secret with this one. And then this key here, we're going to use to create this. And then we run this command here. You can ignore the command line is insecure. Okay, so let's check the nova.com file, and let's see if we have the UUID. So as you can see here, we do not have the UUID for the libvirt. So we're going to copy the UUID here and add it to the nova.com file on the compute node. Okay. Alright, let's check the Cinder. And let's check, okay, that is correct. Let's check the other Cinder on the other compute nodes. So we're good. Next, we're going to restart the service. Okay, we're going to restart the the Nova compute, and also the Cinder and Nova. Okay, all the services were up and running, and we've run the OpenStack volume service list, and as we can see, the Cinder volume service is up and running on on both compute nodes, and as you can see, Ceph is the backend. Okay, that comes to the end of this video. I hope this is informative for you. Please click on the thumbs up button, click on the like button, and let us know in the comment section what you would like to see, or if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.